PNM was inside Parliament scared for the life, you know. PNM inside Parliament wondering how we going to oppose this, because they ain't coming to say that, yeah, government kept the promises. Pennelope Beckles, leader of the rightful opposition, leader of the sinless opposition, leader of the opposition with integrity, opposition with a heart, opposition with such vigor in the bones, said that this was basically a smokescreen budget. Take a listen.
Fake and fraudulent. That was how opposition leader Pennelope Beckles described this year's budget presentation by Finance Minister Devendranath Tanku. Now, both Beckles and former Finance Minister Colum Imbert agreed that the government overestimated the revenue that Trinidad and Tobago will earn through oil and gas. They said that pegging the budget at around $73 per barrel, when oil currently stands around $50, creates the opportunity for the government to dip into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund, this country's savings, to supplement its income. Now, they raised several questions about the introduction of taxes on alcohol and cigarettes, as well as imposing fines for driving under the influence of alcohol. Now, several members of the opposition did weigh in on this budget presentation. They said that the government, it cannot deliver on its promises. And according to Imbert, he specifically spoke to the 10% wage increase that was proposed for public servants. He said that it was not much different than what was proposed by the People's National Movement.
Listen, that is the most amount of hogwash, nonsensical things I have ever heard. Because the Heritage and Stabilization Funds that opposition leader Pennelope Beckles want to talk about and say UNC got to tap into it for some revenue generation, it was created by the UNC. It was created by Basdio Pandey. So if UNC tap into the fund that UNC creates, I don't have a problem. I honestly do not. Because UNC does not have a history of tapping into the funds. Let me make that clear first of all. All right? Make that abundantly clear. When Pennelope Beckles saying that the government budget today was, what she say, was fake, well, I don't know. A smokescreen, well, she didn't say smokescreen, but some nonsense. I didn't even care about it because we in a good mood, Trinidad and Tobago. We in a good spirit. But like she have a bad spirit, on she. Because Pennelope Beckles, I want you to know that it is the People's National Movement in 2016 that went into the Heritage and Stabilization Funds. Wait, okay, he done run it. Come back. I was going to say, if you don't believe me, look. So show it now. If you don't believe me, take off the CG bar. Penny, I hope you're watching, because by quick searches, Pennelope Beckles via Google, maybe she does search Wikipedia, so she don't have the information we have. But first ever withdrawal was in 2016, Trinidad and Tobago. So if you look 2016 there, you would see a withdrawal from the Heritage and Stabilization Funds. All right? And this, the second withdrawal, was for COVID-19 between the period of 2020-2021. They said the government made multiple separate withdrawals from the fund to finance pandemic relief expenses. What were the expenses? Come back. What was the expenses, Penny? What was the pandemic expenses 2020-2021? I think they say fire officers couldn't get paid during that period, so they went into Heritage and Stabilization Funds to pay them. But anyway, I digress. Next set of withdrawals. Go run it. 2023, 2024. Look at the bottom of your screen, Trinidad and Tobago. And next set of withdrawals. This continued in recent years through, though in smaller, more frequent increments than during the pandemic. In December of 2023, from what Google say, I mean, the sheet here say 182, but from what Google say, it's a US $168.38 million. And then in 2024, and that's December of 2024, another withdrawal of $1 billion, which is equivalent to US $147 million taken out, which means Trinidad and Tobago, on your screen here, you see at the bottom it says 369 million US dollars taken out of the Heritage and Stabilization Fund. But you look at the UNC periods. All right, look at the UNC periods. Look in 2007, the lovely Basio Pandey, 321 million US dollars put in. Look again, 2008, over $1 billion put in Heritage and Stabilization. Look, is that Kamla Prasad Bisaseng yellow there I see? Is that what I see? Is that what you see, Trinidad and Tobago? In 2010, $477 million. In 2011, we're in a recession, I think the country in a recession, $451 million. In 2012, and this is what was put in at Trinidad and Tobago, not taken out, what was put in, $207 million. Pennelope Beckles, Penny, 1%. In 2013, $42 million. Pennelope Beckles telling Trinidad and Tobago that the UNC is going to tap into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund that was created under the UNC to go and finance, not even projects, but as a revenue generator in Trinidad and Tobago. And then, it's Column Imbert during the period 2022-2023 that did put money in the funds, right? But after Imbert put about $200 million, or you could say maybe $300 million in the fund, right? Just about. Look at the withdrawal at the bottom. Look at the withdrawal. In case you had to squint your eyes to see this Trinidad and Tobago, I will call it out for you. In 2022, Imbert put in $163 million. In 2023, he put in $182 million. Now, if you do simple mathematics, I will have to pull up a calculator because me doing this after all. Here we go. So if you do simple mathematics, Trinidad and Tobago, my director said was 17 and 20 here on the calculator. I know where you're trying to, sorry. But if you do simple mathematics, 163 plus 182 is 345, right? Now you'll have a little bit of difference here because it have the 9994 and then the 213. So you could say 300 and not 300, but 400, right? Maybe 400. We get them $400 million, right? 400 million. If we say they put in $400 million between the period 2022 and 2023, Trinidad and Tobago, in 2024, they took out a total of $369,946,835. That means that the only amount PNM ever put into the fund over a 10-year period, Trinidad and Tobago, come back. Over a 10-year period, according to Calculator 101 on iPhone, this is not Samsung, they put in only just about $31 million. Just about $31 million. But 1 cent penny telling you that Kamla plan is to raid Heritage. I go to say something, but run the picture. Let me not see my face. I will say it over the picture. Kamla and Basio Pandey, God rest your soul, the UNC is the only administration, Trinidad and Tobago, that care about the people of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago And even when all your dirty, stinking PNM, I ain't cuss. Don't tell me watch my language. But when all your dirty, stinking PNM people out here, and I'm talking about the sycophants, not the ones like the director here who vote PNM and then switch. I'm talking about the ones that don't care about country, don't care about progress, and no matter what, calling I-95 or calling Slam 100.5 to talk the set of garbage you're talking on the radio when people driving up the road, I'd just switch it off. To say that they budgeted a smoke screen and that people don't benefit and this and that and the other, when it is all your PNM people or your PNM government raiding the funds, where the money gone? But not just that. When all they say the UNC ain't working and the UNC is the worst party, blah, 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 this, that, and the other. Let me ask you, who put money in the Heritage and Stabilization Fund? You all know the purpose of the HSF Fund? You know the purpose, Director? The purpose of the Heritage and Stabilization Fund is a rainy day fund. And yes, COVID was a rainy day in Trinidad and Tobago. Look, the funds right there that took out real money during COVID. I know how 2016 was rainy. Because in 2016, as soon as he come in, Uber left. $3 million painting. They had to get new vehicles because Kamala Prado was smelling like vomit. And she was drunk and she vomited all over the Prado is what he say. And all kind of nonsense Rowley say. And then they shut down Petrotrin. So they had to take out money during that 2017 period to pay workers. Listen, real drama, you know. Real drama. Carini gone. Petrotrin gone. Sugarcane gone. The only thing that didn't go was Rowley pay because he increased the pay but taking it out of Heritage. But anyway, listen, they want to talk Trinidad and Tobago. They want to talk. And what I'm talking about this is Finance Minister Devendra Tanku today telling you the ills of the PNM and all the nonsense that they did to this very economy.
We were able to deliver all of these positives in extremely difficult circumstances. Let me show you the disastrous record of the last government. Real GDP growth in Trinidad and Tobago dropped from 3.7% in 2014 to 2.5% in 2024. Similarly, during this period, the economy shrunk by 17%, with real GDP falling from $187 billion in 2014 to $154.9 billion in 2024. This country's nominal GDP fell by 8.4% between 2014 and 2024, from $188.9 billion to $173 billion. Over the last 10 years of PNM policy, the amount of money owed by the country to local and foreign creditors increased by over 100%, from $67.9 billion, or 37.1% of GDP in 2014, to $140.7 billion in 2024. This represents, Mr. Speaker, 81.8% of our GDP in 2024. As a result of the PNM's financial bungling, 10.2% of the country's revenue is now required to service this debt. This obviously places a significant constraint on resources available for national development. In 2014, Mr. Speaker, this was a mere 4.2%. Today, it is 10.2%. The former Minister of Finance and the 10-day Minister of Finance took our country from a Standard & Poor's A-grade rated economy in 2015 to a BBB- rating in 2024. These two incompetent individuals eroded our revenue streams, squandered our resources, and undermined confidence, leading to 7 downgrades in our ratings and outlook over 9 years. Over the same period, Moody's Investor Services downgraded us from investment grade in 2014 to junk status under them. Under the PNM, 70,600 jobs were lost. 70,600. According to the CSO, 636,800 people were employed in 2014. Mr. Speaker, by 2024, the PNM had reduced this to 566,200 people, which means that 70,600 persons were pushed into unemployment by the PNM. To put this into perspective, the population of Tobago is about 60,000. So the number of persons who were put on the breadline by the PNM was substantially greater than the entire population of Tobago East and Tobago West combined. Visualize that, Mr. Speaker.